Jared Goff, the Rams quarterback. Just a week after Sean McVay downplayed the concept of a contract extension for Jared Goff before the start of the season, Jared Goff has a contract extension before the start of the season. It's a 4-year extension worth $134 million. That's a new money average of $33.5 million, tying him with, Aaron Rodgers. What do you think of that? Just first and foremost, Jared Goff makes as much as Aaron Rodgers.
You heard, it's insane. I mean, it's insane. That's what I've argued this all spring, right? I don't know why the next guy up always has to outdo the next guy. I just don't get that. You know, there's certain guys that, like we've said, you know, they don't deserve to be paid on the defensive side, like Aaron Donald or Khalil Mack, but yet they're going to make that much money. You know, same thing with some of these guys on offense. Yeah, and especially the quarterback position. It just seems whoever's up next gets more. And that makes the market go crazy. And to me, that makes the quarterbacks get more money than they deserve. And then the wealth doesn't get spread as much. But, I mean, the Rams had to do this. They did. The pressure was on. The perception, he's the franchise quarterback.
Here's why.
Right.
Here's the problem.
Right.
When people like us criticize Jared Goff, when we say, I'd rather have Dak Prescott than Jared Goff, when we say Jared Goff is a product of Sean McVay's system, because we have so much faith in Sean McVay as a coach, and McVay responds to that by going over the top, all in, how Goff is the guy, and he's really taken ownership of the team, and he's this and he's that, you're basically filling out the check at that point.
Yes.
And would Bill Belichick ever go on and on and on about any of his players? No, because when you do that, you back yourself into the corner where you've got to pay. They did have to do it because their reaction to the criticism of Jared Goff set them up for that. Now, at $33.5 million a year in new money, look, that's a big deal. It puts him at number 3, tied with Aaron Rodgers behind Russell Wilson and Ben Roethlisberger. So he didn't eclipse
everybody,
Russell Wilson, but he's still up there in that conversation. And it was smart for them to do it now because Dak Prescott may be in that same territory, and he hasn't been to a Super Bowl. Although I'd still take, Jared, I'd take Goff over, or I'd take Prescott over Goff. But Patrick Mahomes is looming. And when Patrick Mahomes stretches that rubber band to $40 million a year or more, you're going to wish you had done Jared Goff's deal. That, I think, was the main impetus to doing this now. Because if you don't do it now, then there's a chance Mahomes goes first. And once Mahomes goes, the market goes haywire.
It would explode. I agree with you there. I mean, hey, I think Jared Goff, again, I don't think he was looking to break the record. I do believe him in the fact that he wanted to do something, you know, reasonable. Okay, I'll give him that, certainly. I do think the Rams...
That's a lot of reasonable.
Well,
$33.5 million is a hell of a lot. It buys you a lot of reasonable.
It does. It certainly does. They're backed into a corner, though. They are. I mean, from everything. Not only the fact that the talks of Dak Prescott's contract are going, the guy that was picked after Jared Goff, his contract is done, and Carson Wentz, okay? It didn't look right. And then the real fact with the NFL, perception becomes reality at some point. And the fans and the people that surround the Los Angeles Rams, they think he's a franchise big-time quarterback. And, you know, of course I've argued that. I mean, I think I don't know where I had him in my quarterback rankings. Somewhere between 12 and 18, somewhere right around there. Okay, I think I had him at 18 or 19. That's where I look at it. He's not a franchise quarterback to me in the aspect of he's just going to carry your team when things don't go well. You know, he's more of a guy that you mentioned. To me, it's always been McVay has to massage the player a little bit. He has to formulate game plans early in the game to make sure Jared Goff's in a good rhythm, where I would argue some of the other quarterbacks we're talking about, Roethlisberger, Rodgers, Russell Wilson, you know, Brady, they just run a game plan. And they say, you guys better just execute it. It's different in the Rams there. And that's why I think there was a delay. And I think the Rams probably didn't want to pay him this early. But the public pressure and the scrutiny around the situation and the fact that they were always talking about it, I think they were backed into the corner, and that's why they do it.
Sources close to me tell me that you had Jared Goff at number 19 in your rankings.
Yeah.
See, I would feel better about your rankings if you remembered where the guys were ranked.
I said 18 or 19.
Yeah, but
well, okay. What do
you should know it like the alphabet. These are your quarterback rankings. Own them, Sims.
Well, the top 10 I got for sure, but I wasn't sure about where I was exactly.
Let me make this point.
Right.
I talked about this during the radio hour while you were still in bed.
Yeah.
The Rams are paying Jared Goff $33.5 million per year.
Right.
Cam Newton makes $20 million a year.
Yeah, it's insane. Again, insane.
And you take clearly Newton before Goff. Clearly, Newton was in your top 6 or 7.
Yeah, yes, I think he was 8, right? I mean, he was 8 for sure.
Okay, there you go. That's the way to do it.
He was 8. But yes, I mean, you know, Cam Newton's a generational talent. He's a rare bird. I mean, the things he can do, again, do not get quantified on a stat sheet. he is truly special that way, and it is insane from that standpoint. And that just, tells you that the Carolina Panthers are going to have to renegotiate something with Cam Newton at some point. But either way, I'll say this for the Rams. They got their guy. They've got a quarterback that they feel like they can win with. They have built something special there in Los Angeles. McVay does have faith in him, and I think he probably still thinks we haven't seen the best of Jared Goff at this point yet. He's still developing, and we'll see where it goes. Like we talked about last year, he showed some games last year where we went, oh, look at him. He's carrying the team for a quarter, right? I mean, whether it was the Chiefs game with some of the throws, when he just tore apart your Vikings.
Well, when you have Anthony Barr covering receivers, that tends to happen.
There's some issues, right. But either way, he had some moments to give me hope for the future to go, ooh, this guy maybe is one of those guys that can carry the squad when things aren't good.
One last point about Cam Newton, because he gets a lot of criticism.
Yeah.
He's never said a word about how underpaid he is. And it is insulting how underpaid he currently is.
I mean, yes.
In relation to other quarterbacks. And maybe they're handling it all quietly behind the scenes, but you know what? I'd like to see a new deal for Cam Newton get announced before Saturday of this week. He deserves it, and I think we need to start banging that drum.
Yeah, let's start banging it.
Right,
I'm with you.
Well, we just started.
Yeah, let's start it. Carolina, pay the guy. Damn, he's only sacrificed his life for you.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.